the rescuers are the first people I think of every anniversary. I wouldn't be here if they weren't brave. One of the men that helped me out, he was a builder and he was claustrophobic, and he still got into the building and lay there holding my hands and encouraging me to keep going while one of the firemen was trying to do work to lift the beam off me. And he had a daughter my age, and so did some of the others as well. So they said to me later, you know, we would have hoped that if that was our daughter, that someone would have helped them as well.
How often do you actually think about the day itself and what happened?
I don't think about it very often anymore, thankfully, but obviously there's triggers like the anniversaries, driving past the PGC Building, when I'm in pain, or things, other traumatic events that happen, such as the mosque shootings, or the White Island tragedy, the Pike River anniversaries. Yeah, that all brings it back for me too.
Other people have said that the experience has made them feel more empathetic, and that when they hear of something like what you've just described, they feel, they feel more. They can think of it in the detail that, of having experienced it themselves.
Yeah, I think because you can relate to them. They're obviously very different experiences, but they're all very traumatic, and when these things have happened, my heart sinks for the people, because I've been through a hell experience and I don't want anyone else to go through that.
We have the video of what you recorded shortly after the quakes, you talking.
He made sure they slowly did it, and he wanted it to. He knew that if these jacks didn't lift the beam, that he had no idea how he was going to get me out, apart from getting a crane.
A few people who we've interviewed have said that when they look at the video, they feel like it's almost a different person from the person they are now. Did you have a feeling like that at all? Or?
Yeah. I guess I look at it and just think it doesn't look like me. It's amazing how detailed I am with what happened, and it just reminds me of how far I've come from then. But it still makes me think what a nightmare that was. I don't necessarily think that I feel like it was a different person, but it does feel like it's been a long time, and look how far I've come.
Maybe you could tell me a bit about how your life has progressed since the quake.
Yeah, well, there's been good things and tough things, I suppose. Good things would be that I'm not in as much pain anymore as I was, and I'm now married. I've had a couple of kids, and so those are the good things. The tough things would be the recovery from the earthquake, and just finding a new normal and realising things weren't going to be the same again. So after the earthquake happened, I was in hospital for 4.5 months, and I had to learn to walk again, and I had terrible chronic pain, so I had to figure out a pill concoction that would sort of help me feel comfortable, and then I was on a lot of medication for years after that. So just having to manage that, and then slowly increase my physical activity so that I could reduce some of those pain meds and get off them. I've had some operations and things, and they haven't been easy to recover from either. But also, yeah, just figuring out that life wasn't going to be the same again, adjusting to that. And you sort of, even today, I still compare my life now to pre-earthquake, so it's quite hard moving on and realising that yeah, you know, I thought my life was pretty good before the earthquake, so having to go through that and my recovery, it was really hard. So realising that I'm now going to be living with a bit of pain, and physical pain, and a foot that doesn't move properly, and muscles that are weak and sore at the end of the day. Yeah, it's just quite hard to get your head around. I had to do a lot of therapy due to the pain. I had to learn how to manage my life in a different way, because if I still wanted to do everything that I did pre-earthquake, I was in incredible pain. So that was the first thing that I had to learn, was just saying no to things, not going to everything that was happening, resting a lot, and yeah, just doing a whole lot of rehab to get myself back to as good a state as the best state I could be in with the injuries that I had. So even now I'm incredibly organised, because if I'm not, the pain comes on. So if I can manage things well, I can keep the pain away. So yeah.
That approach to managing things, has it helped in any ways in other aspects of your life, and work, or you know, learning those skills?
It's helped me with my kids to be organised with the nappy bag and their food and things like that when you head out. Yeah, just general things, I suppose. I think it was harder at the beginning because I couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. So I couldn't go out for a coffee with a girlfriend more than once a week. It was too much. But I was able to slowly build that back over the years, and yeah, as I was able to do a bit more physical activity, a lot of gym work, a lot of physio, and just learning other pain management techniques that sort of helped me to be able to say more yeses to things and get back to as close to normal as possible for what I thought was normal.
It's interesting because your story is really valuable for people to hear in lots of ways, because I think there's probably a perception, you know, that you were rescued from the building and you were a lucky person who has, you know, made perhaps a miracle recovery. But it's interesting for people to hear the detail of these aspects that you still need to manage. Do you think that that's the kind of thing that's often misunderstood or not well known?
Yeah, for sure. I think people see me now and they didn't see me through the rehab, and they often do say, oh, you're so lucky that you got out, or you're so lucky you're doing well now. And I always think, but there was a lot of hard work. There was a lot of determination and a lot of support as well. From family and friends and physios, and yeah, I couldn't have got through it without them.